bueno, hello, benvenue, and all those other things that say welcome to you. This is the Arrow After Show. It is season 6, episode 6. Something about promises being broken and fathers like sons and sons like fathers. Let's just watch the show.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin. He'd say, I'm gonna be like you.
I just want to skip right now.
I'm gonna be like you.
Take it, Max.
The cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Deathstroke's not gonna kill you. You're his son and he's not bad anymore. He's gonna be a good dad too. He's gonna be a good dad for you.
For you. Welcome, welcome. I hope you enjoyed the song picked by his truly, Matt Marr. Welcome to the Arrow After Show. Y'all know the deal. I am Alikona Bradford. Be sure to follow all of us on our social medias. But before we start giving those out, you know the deal. This side of the table always belongs to you. You are one of our co-hosts. All you have to do is use a hashtag ABTVArrow and join the chat. That is your job. We'll get to you in a second. But in the meantime, follow me. I am Alikona Bradford at Boys and nope, that was my old one. Just kidding. I was Boys and Beauty, but you know what? I'm at yours truly, Alikona. I'm good.
And I, hello, have always been Olivia deBortoli on Instagram and Twitter, so follow me there. Hey guys.
Olivia deBortoli.
Hey,
Hey everybody, I'm Matt Marr. You can follow me at the Matt Marr, and I'm very excited to wear my Mr. Terrific shirt today. I'm really excited.
Applause for
It's
Matt.
from an artist. I don't know who she is, but yeah, follow me, the Matt Marr.
Great shout out.
And hi guys, Linda Antwi here. All across social media is Linda is so girly, and I'm so happy to finally meet
We're all four here.
This is
the
it,
Arrow
guys.
family.
This happens.
Here to
You know
stay.
what? Slade can be good, and we can all be here. Miracles happen.
Absolutely.
Right?
Finally,
It's a Christmas miracle.
I know.
it only took 6 episodes.
It does.
Seriously,
Six
for all
episodes.
4 chairs to be filled. So this is
But we're in
fantastic.
a groove, y'all. Get ready.
Yes. All right. Well, let's groove into, the, episode, shall we?
Which I really like.
Okay. Very good episode.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, let's start with Slade and his son, who Matt very kindly pulled up pictures of his abdominal area for us, and it was very fantastic.
Oh my gosh!
So
I don't.
many.
What's that actor's name? I don't know. I wasn't. But
It was
yeah.
just, it was all about the pictures, and they were fantastic.
Follow him on Instagram, y'all.
You'll be happy.
Liam something. I'm sure the guys really don't care about this,
Yeah.
so this is for the ladies.
You know what? CrossFit goals. Whatever.
there
I don't
you
know
go.
your life.
Anyhow. Okay, so let's talk about Joe/Kane, who I guess just got that name because he didn't want the other name. But anyway, this whole episode, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. It's actually, it's sad and it's slightly realistic in a very exaggerated way, right?
Yes,
Because
yes,
little
yes,
boys look
yes.
up to their fathers, whether it is unfortunately someone who ends up getting, you know, into a gang or unfortunately doing drugs, this, that, or the third. And like I said, just an exaggerated version, but him seeing his father at such a young age commit a crime and then being like, I'm going to do this too. But I say all this because when you guys see the flashbacks and you see how sweet and innocent that boy is, I find it really hard to believe that only 6 months later he turned around and was like, I'm going to be like dad and I'm going to kill somebody. Thoughts?
I mean, so just because because I am a therapist. I mean, I do my master's in psychology.
This is true.
So you can never underestimate the amount of what trauma, and that is like the definition of severe trauma can do to someone. So yes, if I saw my parents die, I probably wouldn't be Batman, but Bruce Wayne did become Batman.
Right.
So it did seem a little severe because the kid was so sweet. Like it kind of would have been cool if we saw a little bit of a dark side of the kid, but I just don't think they had time to do that. But I mean, it could happen. It almost seems like when people have abusive parents or they experience trauma, they either follow in the footsteps of those parents or they veer away from it as far as possible.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And Siva Ram on the chat says it just takes one trigger though, and I agree with that. It takes one thing to turn one person into a terrible person. And I do agree that it's either one extreme or the other. They either want to be exactly what their father was, kids usually do, or they want to be the extreme opposite. And you know.
And
he
I
went
think
this way.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And I
That's
think that
fine.
with Cain, in that scene when he was fighting at the end with his father, and he said, you know, you promised that this trip was just going to be about me and you, and then I see you, killing this guy. I felt like that was like showing how traumatic that situation was, and that was the turning point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because I would say also too that at that point, at that age, you're smart enough to know and put the pieces together and be like, oh wow, this trip was not about me at all. You were serving another purpose, and I just happened to be like killing two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
No, and it's super traumatic for a kid. But Linda and I called it last week. We were like, he totally saw that, and this is what's going to turn him for sure.
Yeah.
I did not even think of that.
Because you heard a twig snap in the last episode, and he looked around. He was like, "What was that?" And we
We were both like,
"We know that." We were like, "That was little Joe.
Yeah.
He saw it." So
Well, you know
Smarties.
what's funny is when that happened, I thought before they made the big reveal, I thought for sure his son was going to be the vigilante.
yeah.
So I didn't really think it was going to come into play that he was, especially going into this episode. I really thought that he was kidnapped and Slade was going to, help find his boy, and to find that your child is actually the person who runs this huge organization.
Right.
That's heartbreaking as a
So
father.
heartbreaking. But I agree with you. I thought that he was the vigilante originally before we got all into the vigilante part.
Really quick, Ivan Soto. Thank
Hi,
you.
Ivan.
Oh,
Thank you for
Ivan.
pointing out really quick.
Welcome
He
back.
says that Joe Kane's name is his mother's maiden name. Got it. I caught the part about my mother gave me a name, and then I thought, well, he didn't like Joe. Thank you for clearing that up.
and if anybody else can clarify, I mean, we were talking a little bit after the show of just in the we kind of were Googling Kane Wilson, and we also Googled the other brother, Grant Wilson, and it almost seems like we're wondering, did they switch the story? We don't know the full comic background, so if anybody on the chat knows a little bit about the brothers, because it almost seems like one brother's good and one brother's bad. So
I feel like Grant was not in the comics, is what I researched and saw. So I feel like,
okay.
correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you guys will. But I feel like he wasn't in the comics. But he is, again, like we talked about in Legends. So
yeah. So what
Ravenger, Steven Starr, Ravenger in the comics. Hey, Steven.
Yeah, I think I saw. By the way, Alikona, I see somebody likes the blonde.
Oh,
Alikona got
thank
new
you.
hair. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I'm transitioning, guys.
To what?
Yeah.
I haven't decided. I was either gonna go.
I didn't know where we were going. I thought we were going. If you want, I didn't know when you said transition. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I just was shocked.
Anyways, I haven't decided. I was either gonna go violet or mint. I can't decide. So right now, this is the in between. I got to get it a little bit lighter.
Can I have a vote?
Of course.
Violet.
Yeah, I keep getting that.
So it's
That would
violet
be so
or
cool.
what?
Mint.
Mint.
Violet.
Really? And I was so
Yeah.
mint,
I'll
and
vote-
everyone's like violet.
Well, just
vote
because it's
too.
pretty, right? What do you think?
Violet too.
What if you in the chat? What do you think? Violet or mint? I feel like Am I like over 45 now? I feel like I can't see the
I
chat
can't.
tonight. I'm just like this. I'm like,
Why
what?
do you guys think I
Y'all
have
are
it
a
on my
little bit
phone?
small.
I can't see.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like here.
Actually, before we keep going into the episode, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we haven't even said hello, and we usually like to say hello to everybody. So let's do that. Renji, Siren, Stormy, Billie Jean Girl, formerly known as Booby69, who I never let that down.
amazing.
Get it.
Cal L, Kent, Ivan Soto, Ryan, Craig, Extravagant Evans, Winter Beauty. Let's see who else.
Jamie.
Holly Lockhart. Hello to everybody who's in the chat
Yay.
live. Thank you
We love
so
you guys.
much for staying up late
people.
with
We
us.
love you
If it is
people.
late where you are, it's getting late where
And
we are.
I saw that Siva Ram is actually tuning in from India. So
Ooh,
hey from India, Siva.
cool.
hi.
That's-
I love that. That's one thing I love so much about the internet and streaming live is that we can connect to you wherever you
Oh,
are.
and they're saying
So
mint.
cool.
They're getting a mint.
Thank you.
consensus. So you live your truth, Alikona.
Thank you.
You do you, boo.
Thank you.
You
Y'all
do you.
will find out what happens next week.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk Arrow.
Let's keep going, yeah.
Let's talk about Oliver, who is following behind.
Yes.
Who here thought that Slade really lost his marbles and was 2 seconds away from stabbing Oliver in the eyeball?
Never.
I didn't think so either.
Not for
No,
a
they've been
second.
through too much.
Did they get you?
They
got
got me.
you?
I mean, I didn't think he was going to stab him in the eyeball. And look, it's Oliver Queen. Technically, he is the lead, so he wasn't going to go
no.
anywhere. But I definitely thought he was going to get injured just a little bit.
No, I thought he would. Deathstroke, I guess Slade now, would never. Would betray him now. I feel like it was all the Mirror crew. They've been through too much. They're like brothers.
Yeah, but
he wouldn't do it. I mean, I guess his son.
I know. Friend.
But he's smart now. He knows that his son is no good.
And I think that they bonded over the fact that they both have sons, and so I think that he had that thought in his mind, like, I can't let him die because he has a son to take care of. And you know, when he was talking about the balance of both worlds, like, you can't be in this world and that world, he's really trying to push him to stay in that world and have the bond that he doesn't have with his current sons right now.
And that's what he said. It was about when Oliver said something about William is what triggered him to be like, oh, I can't do this.
Yeah, but when he said something about William in front of old boy, I was like, stupid. What did you do that for?
That's true.
Come on, man. Yeah. Now you're gonna have old Crazy Town going after you.
I didn't think about that, but that's very true.
Hottie Deathstroke was really into it. Like,
Hottie Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Can we call him that from now on?
Let's call him Hottie Deathstroke. Yes. Sorry, dudes.
And he's missing now, so I'm sure
possible.
we're gonna see him again for sure in
Yeah,
Star
for
City.
sure.
Someone thinks he's. I saw in chat. I don't know who's it, but that he's going to search out the Mirror Guru.
Search out.
He's going to like take it. He's gonna
Is that
take
even
the
still in
mirror.
existence
I don't know
anymore?
if it is.
Probably.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it has to be. They can't just like get rid of it. Well, I guess they could.
I don't know.
So a few things I want to talk about, some of the flashbacks that occurred with Slade, because now we're obviously flashbacking Slade's life.
That was cool.
I like it.
I liked it too.
No, I like it, but it was, and maybe I missed this before because I know you and I had this conversation, and I was talking about how relevant the show is, and they were talking about ISIS, and then this week in the thing it was like ASIS, and I went, oh. I guess it's not ISIS. Okay. Yeah. And I went on a huge tangent about it too.
You did.
But I mean, it was still relevant. It's still stuff, you know. But yeah, it was ASIS, not ISIS.
Yeah.
I guess.
And then the next note I have for you guys, and then you guys can say whatever you want. But when there was a flashback and Shadow reappeared, which Matt and I hypothesized, and I think the rest of you guys agree, that had to be a recasting because I don't think that was the same actress as season 1. But of course, chime in, let me know in the chat.
I tried to look it up, and it looks like it is the same actress.
She doesn't look the same at
She looks a
all.
little different, but it doesn't say anything online unless you guys can find it that has been recast.
I mean, she might have gone on a cleanse or something.
Shut your
Cut her
face.
hair. People are different. I don't know.
Cleanse.
We don't know her life. You know.
Know her?
She got work done.
I have a fun fact about
Okay,
her,
please.
and I don't know, maybe everyone knows this and I didn't, but she's the one that actually taught Oliver archery.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
that? Yes.
Wow. No, I'm glad. Wow.
Slade did the sticks and
I
the
just
sword.
got taken back.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this was season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
I
so
think
far.
we forget. You know, and what's cool I like about examining the relationship with Oliver and Deathstroke or Slade is that because they do have this history, it's I think we often forget that Arrow, like, they started all of this crossover
Yes.
we're excited
They
about,
started
this whole
everything.
universe. Arrow was the beginning of this, and it's just, you know, I think Flash gets a lot of the attention now,
Yeah.
but we forget that, you know.
Arrow's the OG.
Yeah.
The original.
Oliver Queen, OG.
Man. In the chat, they're saying Selena Jade was the actress, and it was the same actress.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay.
she
Wow.
just looked a little different.
She
to
looks
me, I guess.
different. I think
Like, the
she,
shape of her head looked different. I know that sounds really crazy. Maybe it's the hair was parted differently.
I'm telling you, she just got a haircut and, like, you know, she's like
cleanse.
doing like
Right?
Keelio or
Yeah,
Pato.
right?
Pato. I don't know
She's a
how
vegan
people.
now.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Thank you, right? Either way, I bring this all up to say that when Shadow appeared and Slade was listening to her commands and then he kissed her and I went, no one's there. So is the guard watching him just looking at Slade like,
He's literally like this.
and I thought to myself, I would be laughing so hard if I was in that room until Slade broke my
Until he-
arm.
Right, and wasn't
your wrist.
everyone
Killed everyone.
concerned that, hey, he's maybe having a breakdown? That could have been a warning that you guys are all about to die, you know?
Yeah, they're like,
This guy's
hey,
losing it.
Hottie Deathstroke, I think your dad, I think your dad is, took too much something. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, apparently some
definitely a
people
sign.
had the same thought. So that's funny about that as
I
well.
want the bloopers of that scene. Me too, Ivan. That
would be
like-
Yeah, that would be great.
I love bloopers of any show, though. I feel like
Yeah.
they're so funny, but for Arrow, because it's so serious,
So serious.
the
Yeah.
bloopers would be amazing.
Yeah.
Those now.
All right,
Yeah.
let's get back to the whole dynamic between Slade and Oliver, because again, it is a tough decision to decide between your son and Oliver. And in my notes, I also had wrote that Oliver was arrowing. Low key, he was arrowing
Yeah.
because he's like, I'm not a part of this life. I'm not. Maybe for my friend, but he was kicking ass and not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
sexy.
which I thought was interesting because again, going back to season 1, if you've been watching it from season 1, that's how he started. He started with like no anything, no arrows, just him, a gun, and like going out there being vigilante.
Yeah.
So I thought
And
that
killing
was
people.
And then eyeshadow.
Yeah.
So I thought that
He
was a
upgraded.
really great, flashback to season 1 and like long-term fans of the show.
Yeah. Well, Matt and I know we talked about the one scene where he kicked someone and grabbed their face at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
One of the fight scenes, we're like, that was really good.
It's really
And
good.
It was a really good scene. All the fight scenes in this episode were really good. But we're like, yeah, it's like old school Oliver. I feel like.
I like what they've done again with it's like, I kind of thought when they were gonna do like. Even though I'm loving, y'all know I love Diggle, and I like Green Diggle. I do. He's cute. I like it because I think it's making, especially after 6th season, we have to. It's like putting the characters in a situation that is stretching them than we've ever thought they could be stretched before, and it makes sense with Diggle that he's been kind of the sidekick this whole time, and now he's having to. That's real. It makes me love him. This episode made me love him even more. Why he's doing this is because he's so appreciative of Oliver and what Oliver's done for him. But talking about Oliver, I thought they would do that like an episode. So I do think it's cool, like looking at like again, it's humanizing Oliver to me more.
Yeah.
With him trying to do all this for his son. We've had like 2 or 3 episodes now where he's not the Arrow at all, and it's a good. They're stretching it out, I think, well because. I hope maybe it'll be crossover. I don't know. But I think whenever Oliver does like become Arrow again, because they're like biding their time a little bit, it's going to make it really good.
They said that they were going to bring him back at the crossover.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's when it's going to happen.
Well, and I thought it was really interesting because I didn't see it coming when he made the comment. I think it was to Slade, and they were talking about sons and having a different life and separating the lives. And he, I think, said I take that, retract. I believe he was talking to Felicity, and he said that the whole situation made him realize that he made the right decision, leaving that life behind. And I went, no, that's supposed to make you miss fighting.
Exactly.
What happened?
No.
So something's going to have to change dramatically from now to the crossover, which is not that many episodes away.
Because I just feel like he needs family. Don't you think, like, though? I know she's in a hospital, but come on, where's Thea? I feel like I feel like that character has been dropped. Even if the actress isn't even going to do it, and she's like, "Peace out, I'm out. I don't want to do the show."
Yeah.
We need to. That seems weird. Oliver's so committed to his family. We haven't heard jack shit about his sister.
I know. Her name, Willa Holland, is still in the opening credits, which is
weird.
interesting.
Which means she's getting paid, y'all.
Yeah,
good for you, Willa.
But she needs to come back because she was like one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But wait, I want to go back to Green Diggle.
Oh, yeah.
And this is, okay, look, not to be mean,
he's
because
so hot.
I do love Diggle. But in that outfit, I feel like he reminds me of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I don't know why. And it just, something about it is so awkward. I get the reason why he's doing it, but I would love Diggle to have his own identity versus stepping into the shoes of somebody else.
Yeah.
And also, few things. It was good to see that Lila does exist because up until this
I wrote that
episode,
too. I was like, where's she?
There's a brief mention of the fact that he's a father and a husband, but there's no Lila. And then we obviously see his son, which is a reminder that he no longer has baby Sarah.
Weird.
But right, very weird. And then the other thing I thought, and this has been my stance for the entire time there's been a Diggle, Lila, and the other panelist will argue with me till they're blue. I don't buy their chemistry at all.
I don't either.
Not even a little bit.
It's, we've talked about, like, I think the very first episode, we're like, are Dinah and Diggle just going to make out? Because what did we call them?
I feel like they have more chemistry.
What was the ship? We called them.
We called it.
Dingle. We called them Dingle.
It wasn't. We made a ship name.
Yeah, we're like, is Dingle going to, like, happen here? Because they do have really good chemistry. But I did feel guilty about in this episode. I was like, I'm a terrible person because I wanted them to kind of make out. And I just kind of forgot he was married. And
well, because they weren't doing well in the past few episodes. Like Diggle and Lila, they were doing actually pretty poorly, and it was, I guess it was nice this episode to see that they were doing better, and they were getting along better, and I like that he admitted everything to her. So they're doing better, and I'm pleased with that because they have a family, but their chemistry has always been
weird.
Yeah.
And their family doesn't seem very familial at all. It's just like, it almost feels like an arranged marriage, or like two best friends got themselves into a relationship. Yeah. So they're going through the motions, and they kiss, and they do the things you're supposed to do in a relationship, but I'm not buying the fire that happens when you're in love.
But
And
also,
which
his
is weird
wife
too.
should totally be with a woman. I get that vibe. Like, I think that would make way more sense for that. The way that she portrays that character, she just doesn't. I just feel like I could see her like having a relationship with White Canary.
But for me, it was just this episode or this season, because the past few seasons, I feel like they've been great together, and I've loved them together. And it's just been this season, for me at least, that I felt the chemistry is off. Because her hair, her hair was longer. She was different. She was like, I feel like they were more of a family, and I bought them together really well. But now it's like I agree. I feel something's off.
I think you're right, actually. You're making me remember. All right, keep going. Y'all talk. I'm thinking.
No, I just feel like, that's it. They were better before, and now it's off. Maybe it's like real life marriage, how it's like super fire at the beginning. Because they had just gotten married, So now it's like fizzling away.
But see, I never saw it. Ever. Not even a little. But I do like the mention of the comparison between, now you know how I feel, or now I know how you feel when I took on the role of Amanda Waller, and now you taking on Arrow. So that was a nice little comparison. And I do like that she completely checked him when he started talking about using the drug, the steroid, that was just like a test. It's lies. Lies. And I was really appalled with Diggle. Like, that's how you know your head is just in the wrong space. For him to say, okay, let's see if Argus can come up with a solution for this. Well, what about Diaz? Well, I'll take him off the streets, but after you guys find me a solution for my arm. But till then, I'll just, what was he gonna do? Just pretend to go after him while the team is busting their butt, and he's gonna let me miss. That's my drug supplier. Hold on.
Yeah. I mean, and I hope that they continue to address his drug issue, because obviously he was dependent on it, and it was something that's not FDA approved.
Right.
So I hope this coming out to the rest of the crew and saying, hey, this was my problem, I'm sorry I didn't come to you sooner, isn't the end of it, because that to me wouldn't be realistic. You know what I mean? Like, you had it hidden, you had your team's lives in danger for the longest time, and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm cured.
Right.
Like, I don't want it to be that. I want it to be explored a little bit.
They're gonna
that's actually an Arrow in the comics. That's one of the Arrow. It's one of the drug storyline. They were one of the first to do that, because I actually believe it was Speedy who, that was what they did, is that Speedy was a drug addict and ended up contracting HIV.
Oh, wow.
Because of her drug addiction. And so, like, his sister. So I kind of, with her party and stuff, I knew that, I actually hoped they would have done that storyline, because I think it's so cool, not cool, but it's so, again, what we're getting a little bit with Oliver and Diggle, but especially with Oliver and Slade, because they did a good job of, like, really humanizing Slade, because he has really kind of been a monster on this show,
right.
And so they had to work a bit to, like, okay, he's a dad, he's a person. And I think when you show, like, a superhero who has a drug addiction, or that's living with HIV or cancer, or these real life things that we have in our lives, it's like, how do they, like, truly be a super person? And that can be so inspiring to us as an audience. So, Greg Berlanti, I know you're watching. I just want you to include that, Greg Berlanti.
Yeah, it's true. I just wanted to point out, Stormy said it was all Barry's flashpoint that caused the rift, I guess, between Diggle and Lila. So that could
and erased Sarah
and Sarah. The whole thing, like, that could have what caused their kind of non-passion, you might
maybe
think.
And then and just to go back to Green Diggle, when he said to the group, like, I'm shook because no perp ever got the drop on me. Do you remember that scene?
Yes.
I was like, that's not true. Like, the past 3 episodes, you've been screwing up and people almost died.
He was just talking out of his butt to cover up the fact that
it was the drugs.
Right.
Yeah.
But, dude, it was so crazy when they did have the fight scene and Diggle looked up and realized the dude on the opposing end was his supplier. Like, oh, dang.
Right.
Go ahead.
Sorry, one thing. So did you pause because you recognized your drug dealer and didn't want to shoot him, that because you might not get your drugs, or did you pause because you were like, oh, I didn't realize you're a dragon?
I think he paused because he was like,
both of those reasons.
I think he was like,
sure.
I fucked up.
Yeah.
That's what I think he was.
Oh, damn.
I think he was like, yeah, like someone shit the bed.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I don't know. Oliver needs to be the Green Arrow again because I'm not digging this deal.
I'm not either. I just don't think he's suited to be a leader at this point in his life.
Yeah.
No, obviously. And
Yeah.
if there's something wrong with the costume, then I just say we do shirtless Diggle. I mean, I'm always been a proponent of shirtless Diggle. Even the actor agreed with me.
I mean,
Just saying.
Always.
I'm still, and I brought this up 2 episodes ago when I was here last, but really confused as to how nobody in the city has caught the fact that Diggle went from being fair complected to having a really deep dark tan.
Yeah.
I know he lurks in the shadows and all, but still.
Yeah, we talked.
Like,
yeah,
what?
We talked about it last episode. It's very strange. Come on, you guys.
What is he? What, his skin's darker now? What? No. Because
Oh, you're for real?
I don't see color. I don't see color barely. I'm sorry.
I thought you were kidding, but apparently not. All right.
I love it.
Yes, Diggle went to the Bahamas.
Yeah, well, I didn't know.
Anyhow.
Sorry, I stopped the show with my stupidity.
No. That's
It won't be the last time, y'all, on that
okay.
one.
Not the first, not the last.
totally
it's okay.
okay.
Oh, thank you, Stormy Woods, for that shout out of shirtless David Ramsey.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for that.
Somebody thanked me. I don't know why Ivan is thanking me, but you're welcome.
Because Ivan's
say you're
great.
welcome,
Right.
Because Ivan's great.
Ivan's the best.
Yeah.
Ow.
Anyway, all right.
Oh, that is true. I kind of thought, Holly, that whenever Diggle went to tell the team, I thought he was going to I thought he would maybe tell Oliver too, and there was going to be like a stepping down, and he was going to hand it back to him, which could have been really dramatic, but they didn't do that.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it was great that he decided to finally come clean and talk to everybody, and it is interesting to me. I'm just going to say interesting to me that everyone went, oh, yeah, no, it's fine. We forgive you.
I mean,
Yeah.
but
Nobody had a hard time with the fact that he, consciously put everybody in a really bad position.
I mean, they've been through a lot of stuff
Yeah, think-
together.
yeah,
you
think
know,
about,
yeah, they've been through hell
Yeah.
and back. I feel like, and so this is just another one of those. Okay, well,
Well,
we
and
have to get through it.
Dinah's lying now
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
her ex, so she's not going to say anything. And then, what's his name? Wild Dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pardon?
Renee.
Yeah, Renee. Really cute Instagram too, by the way. Renee, he's not now. I mean, he's really worked to come clean, but he had a lot of demons in his past
Yeah.
too.
So
and then, I mean, Curtis is he's not gonna be mad at anybody.
He's just a happy puppy dog
He's
who's
just,
always
yeah,
just pleased with everyone. So
Yeah.
he's
He
the best.
brought an excellent point up. Diggle
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
outsourced and got drugs. Dude, come on,
and he was
man.
Yeah.
But Curtis made a woman walk.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he can handle some.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's like
some things.
he's
Yeah.
like scientific Jesus.
Yeah.
There you
People
go.
walk with him. That's funny.
Steve said Renee should be the next Arrow. Maybe.
I like that Kal-El Kent said, "Everyone lies." Well, that's Kal-El. You need to watch a
optimistic.
comedy or two. Go watch Friends.
Watch some Poor guy. It's sad, but it's true.
Curtis will be the next Arrow. I just don't think anybody can replace the Arrow.
No.
I really don't.
No, what it would be cool, now that Diggle's doing this whole crossbow thing and everything, that will he be when Arrow resumes? Will he be? What was his code name? I always forget his. They never use his code name very much. Oh, well, it's not Overwatch. That's
Spartan.
Spartan.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
never use his code. They use other ones that they hardly ever use. So, will he be Spartan or will he be something else?
I just feel like if you're gonna step into that role, what they should have done, and then this might go against all the rules, but still be a hood, just be a different color. Don't try to be the green hood.
No, but
No,
doing
yeah,
it,
maybe.
doing it to throw
Be
off.
blue, be purple, be something.
Yeah, but because of the FBI investigation, he
Yeah.
has to be the
He
green
has to be the Green
Arrow, right?
He has
But
to be the
again,
same guy.
Yeah.
FBI, African American, Caucasian. You're telling me they didn't pick up on that?
I mean, that
Arrow.
hood is really hanging over. I don't know.
I mean, it's always dark in Star
You know.
City,
Yeah,
so
always.
perhaps it's
Yeah.
There's the
Very-
sun.
really
The
very
sun never
clear.
shines in Star City,
There-
so
Yeah.
you can't tell, I guess.
Yeah,
but
that's
no,
true.
I mean, it's Arrow. There's a lot of things that you're just that doesn't make sense, but you just have to go with it, I guess.
You
Yeah.
just, you just
Yeah.
gotta
Yeah.
roll with it.
So in our CW Weekly show, we had a shipping poll, and Olicity, of course, dominated in the poll. So yeah. And so now that we have this fun little dynamic between Oliver and Felicity, and I like being able to see her interact with William and him just really take to her, but the show obviously alluded to the fact that somebody is watching in the window, because I'm pretty sure that wasn't meant to be just a cool camera angle.
You think?
Oh, I thought that was a cool camera angle.
That was a cool camera
angle.
You just shocked me.
Really?
Twice, though. It'd be different if it was one little whatever, but it was clearly, to me, someone else's perspective watching in on them.
What do y'all think in the chat?
Could the sun already be in danger? Could it?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Could Kane already be there? Because, you know, he disappeared.
No, they're not going to do that yet. Well, they're going to bide their time on that one.
You think so?
Oh,
Starger says it's a camera angle.
We saw Slade Wilson
though?
walk off into the mist.
Yeah.
Like, this was like the end of Jurassic Park kind of
Well,
ending.
he's going to be back, but...
He's going to be back, but it's like they definitely closed this chapter.
Okay.
Right.
I almost had a heart attack
but, I mean,
now.
Obviously, William is going to be in some type of danger eventually.
Yeah.
Because, but... I think it was a cool camera angle. I mean, what do I know?
I'm going to still argue that only because if it was just once, then I'd be like, cool camera angle through the mist. But it was twice, and the moments that it happened were, if I remember correctly, once was when Oliver had made the statement about making like the right decision. So I'm giving up Arrow, and he said something else, and I don't remember what it was, but I know when he was saying it and we saw the camera angle, it was just such a specific statement that he made to me that I felt like it was somebody watching in.
I saw somewhere on the live chat, and it's further up, but I think someone is thinking that it might be Damien Dark.
I think he's going to well, he's dead in Oliver's world, but he's on Legends still.
I mean, it could still be Vigilante if that's and that's the thing that's interesting about this season is before we knew that Damien Dark was the big bad for the entire season, and there might have been little crimes here and there, but it was always him. And the same thing when Malcolm Merlyn was just, you know, the Dark Archer. He was the dude. And this time around, even though Vigilante was introduced into the past season, this season, I thought in reading that the Vigilante was the big bad, but it's taken us so long for us to even experience him outside of the one little incident that happened with the reveal last week.
I don't think the it's, yes, maybe the Vigilante, but I think, the big bad's supposed to, like, Black Siren's coming back next week.
Yeah.
So I think that when I read that, the producer at Comic-Con I think it was at Comic-Con, said that she is the big bad for this year. But they also, that's kind of their hope. I think there was so much focus last year on, what's his name? I got a little over that storyline. It was so just dark. And
Damien?
Not Damien. The guy, the island, the guy we just had. The cute guy who killed, who blew up the island.
Chase?
Yeah.
There was just so, like, it was just all about Chase, and it was like this. To me, I like that they're not stretching out 22 episodes
over one guy.
Of this one guy, and that we're getting some. I mean, I would even be totally cool, and I feel like maybe they're building to this. Maybe they're going to do like a mid-season kind of finale, and maybe we'll get another big bad. Like,
I like
starting in
variety.
January.
I like the like you said.
Yeah, we needed some variety, so I like it. Yeah,
I wonder
Prometheus.
what they're gonna do
I just fell asleep.
With Vigilante, because I mean he's still technically a big bad, but now he has like a heart.
Yeah,
so
I was saying, but all of a sudden, because before we didn't understand his purpose, and we thought that he was just there to avenge something, and specifically going after Oliver for whatever motive.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, you have him coming to who he is and being like, no, I was this former guy who used to do things the right way, and it didn't really get me very far. So maybe if I do things the Vigilante way, I'm going to make more of a difference. And maybe somewhere in his crazy head, that difference is doing something good for this world.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
Ivan
we
says it's going to be
alluded to
cabal of the that's going to be the big bad this year. And I'm only saying that because Ivan just typed panel in all caps. The big bad is going to be.
Okay.
So
first of all, Mr. Ivan Soto, we've had this conversation You don't yell at us.
Yeah. Okay. Stop yelling at us.
Because you yell at us all the time. I'm going to stop reading your stuff if you yell at me.
I like that you're passionate, Ivan. I like it.
Yeah, but...
You're Italian, maybe. I don't know.
No.
It worked though, Ivan, so...
It won't work anymore. No, it will not work anymore. I do not accept being talked to in that tone.
Winter's Beauty said they're setting up lots of villains, which, yeah, I agree. Anatoly, Caden James, Dragon...
So, really quick, though, going back to last season, did we not have several episodes dedicated to somebody who was the son of the vigilante? Because if so, I don't remember. Sorry, guys. Bad memory. That wouldn't make sense, because that kid was too old to be the son of who we now know as the vigilante.
I don't remember that.
It was something about somebody's son, or maybe that was just a theory that they thought it was...
You mean Slade's son, maybe?
No, not
Maybe.
Slade's son. Somebody
Ivan
else.
said he's using a different computer and he's sorry. He didn't mean to put all caps. There you
Okay.
go.
All these seasons, you didn't mean to?
He said a new computer now. A new computer now.
I got you.
Oh, son of the business.
Ivan's my spirit animal. I love him.
No, shut your face.
No, I don't.
Son of the businessman. Thank you, Siva.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't remember that.
It
Everyone
really
likes.
is like, because we're in
Oh,
6
yes.
seasons and they're bringing stuff back that it's just been a hot long time since we've seen these people.
And I feel like
You're
back
a
to the
hot, long
vigilante,
time.
it was like a huge build up for vigilante of like how awful, terrible he was, and then it's like, oh,
Not
actually,
really.
Oh yeah, that's
you know,
true.
never
They-
mind. You know, it was like all last season. Oh, vigilante's a big bad, but now it's like, meh. Actually, I love Dinah, and I'm good now, or whatever
Well,
I'm gonna be.
I just want to kind of jump off of what you said a little bit earlier. I think that he wants to do things the right way, but he's doing things the wrong way, because remember last episode, he was talking about how some of these, like the judge or some of these court people are bad, and he's going after all the corruptness in Star City.
Yes.
So I feel like that's going to be his angle. Like he's going to try to eradicate all the bad people.
Yeah.
So he's basically Oliver circa season
yes,
1.
exactly.
Yeah.
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 You will learn, my child.
Learn.
Been there, done that, dude.
Right,
Moving
yeah.
on.
So really quickly, I do want to ask the chat, because I have a tendency to just talk a lot, and then I realize that I don't say things, or maybe I say things twice. So if I've missed anything in this episode, please, by all means, that chat is your forum. Let me know.
Yeah, let us all know.
Well, seriously.
We also were talking about too, because we talked about our CW Weekly show, and for a lot of you don't know that there are talks that Manu Bennett,
Yep.
Manu Bennett is talking about that he would love to, and they're potentially developing maybe a Deathstroke spinoff. But if he did it, he would want it to be like rated R, and like we were talking about, like the fight last week was like, that was the most bloody fight we've ever seen on any CW show ever.
Right.
I mean, you saw Sorghum, like it was a lot.
Yeah.
But so I feel like, I know he alluded to that. If we're gonna do a prediction later, I'm just saying mine now. My prediction is we're for sure gonna get a Deathstroke spinoff. This was too like the miss.
AfterBuzz TV prediction.
Oh, sorry, I took us into predictions, but I think
Someone's trying to tell us to hurry up.
someone's saying wrap it up. But I think that's where we're headed for sure with that character, which I think could be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'd watch it.
Oh, Ivan Soto does not want a hard R Deathstroke. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter, because you're suspended. I'm suspending you.
No, he apologized. He apologized.
Stormy Woods, I don't think you're getting R-rated on CW. You're
sure
probably right.
Well, no,
this is just Manu having a conversation with Greg Berlanti, saying, if we go this direction, I would love for it to be this. And I think he also mentioned it potentially being on a different network. That conversation.
Marvel's doing Netflix. I guarantee you that DC is trying to get, whether it's, I know Apple TV is going to start streaming services, whether it's Amazon or Hulu, they're going to want to try to work it out.
So on my other show the other day, we were talking about Hulu, and so Hulu is really pushing for original content. So that would absolutely be a forerunner for that, because they're doing like cutting edge stuff left, right, and center.
Yeah, and somebody said there's a new WB app too.
Can I just
I was
say...
about to say it would definitely go to the new DC streaming platform that's going to be coming out fairly in the future.
That's what Winter's Beauty is saying.
Didn't know that.
That would
Okay.
be awesome.
The classic, like they're gonna have all the original animated movies, as long as hopefully all these shows. all in one place.
Oh, okay. Look at that.
Well, there you go. That would be awesome. It's gonna be so
So, I'm gonna be prevert for like 2 seconds, and I read somebody's comments incorrectly because I do that sometimes, and it said something about elongated man, and I thought maybe it was Colin Prime. Well, anyways, I thought it said elongated man makes me feel better inside, but I think it was elongated man is better on this side.
He said elongated man's a better sidekick.
I was like, inside what?
I'm very confused.
You need to go on vacation.
I think it's the blonde.
It's changed me. Okay, well, looking at our chat, I think we covered everything in this episode.
Can I say one thing that
Sure.
just really stuck out to me that
Do it.
I had to write it down? When Kane said to his dad in the flashback, happy 1 year back from the dead. I really feel Oliver should have a happy 1 year back from the dead like celebration too, because he's always coming back.
Oh yeah,
This is true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Always party. Party's always. I'm
Yes.
into it.
Well, quotable of the night. I almost spit out my gum when Felicity said Slade got his happy ending. I literally. That was one of the best lines of the show because the show is so dark and intense. And this is what I like that the show's doing. There's just these little moments where they're like, hey, we're just going to.
But
Just
it made
lighten
it
up.
funnier because you had just said, I hope they make out. And then the next scene was
Oh, yeah.
Felicity
I did say when
saying-
Oliver and Slade were talking, I was like, does anybody think they should just make out?
And then the next scene's just like, did he get his happy ending? We're all like, oh my God.
Yes.
What?
Yes, I do get a Jason Todd vibe
Yes.
with Vigilante, for sure. Oh my God, Jason Todd, that's such a good sport. Don't get me started.
Yeah.
Don't get me
All
started.
right. So I think it's about that time. Let's get into some news and gossip.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
AfterBuzz
Oh, I forgot we did that.
Fancy music.
I would have
fancy
said that
music,
later.
Fancy
but
music.
the-
Okay, so I'm gonna just go by pictures, and I can tell you off the top of my head what I think is going on. Oh, Stephen Amell invades San Antonio. That's right, he is back in the wrestling ring. We remember he took on Stardust a little while back, and he is heading back once more. As you can see, it's Friday, November 17th. That is tomorrow.
Aw.
Manana.
I love that he does that.
Me too.
Manana.
Give me some wrestling Stephen Amell. Give it to me all.
Right?
Right?
All right,
yeah,
let's go. Let's go
pretty.
to our next picture. Do-do-do-do-do. Okay, so
Oh, come on.
in honor of Felicity, I decided to show a little bit of fan art. So by all means, if you have some, you're welcome to tweet it at me at yours truly, Alikona, because it's just fun to show what you guys create. So that's one.
That's fantastic.
That's another one that was very 50 Shades of Grey. And if you really look closely, I am pretty sure, and it's obviously not them, but his crotch is in her face and vice versa.
Oh, wow. That's.
I'm
Whoa.
confused
That's
about what's
naughty.
happening. I don't
It's
understand
very
that.
naughty.
Oh
Very-
my God. No. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
We can move on.
And then there's another one that I thought was really cool too. And you can see in the really bottom part, that's picture so far away from us, but it should hopefully see where I got that from, so that way I'm giving credit to whomever.
credit,
But it's a
credit
lot
is
easier. If
due.
you guys tweeted at me, then I know you did it, so I can give you credit. I think, one last one.
Oh,
Next
I
one.
love old eyeshadow.
That's what I was just going to say, like a little throwback to when he used to wear eyeshadow. It's adorable.
Guys and eyeliner's hot.
I love that.
Mostly.
Oh, and then you can also get your official Olicity gear. Hopefully at the bottom of that, again, I can't see what it says from over here, but hopefully that gives you little directions on where you
I think
can
this
go.
is redbubble.com.
There you go. Thank you.
You're welcome. I
There you
can't.
go. You have
I'm
eyes like a hawk.
No, I don't. That's the scary part.
Goodness.
So that's your news for today. Let's get into some predictions, because I don't have any gossip. Anyone have gossip?
Your
No.
AfterBuzz
No.
TV predictions.
No, I don't. I mean, we could talk, I watch it on the CW news show. We talk a lot about
Yes.
sexual harassment claims
Oh.
with all over CW with one of the producers, and Stephen Amell has come out and talked about that. So just for time's sake, watch the CW Weekly Show. We talk a lot about that. In that episode.
All right,
Anyway.
so Matt, we moved on to predictions.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. But we did. We really
Okay.
did. I was just being silly with you.
No, I know.
So, any thoughts about what's going to be happening next week? Because we did see a little preview clip, but those are always misleading.
Well, I don't know. This is kind of for me. This is kind of like a bold, not a bold statement, but she at the end, Dinah's holding a matchstick, her matchbox. I think we're gonna see maybe, hopefully, some scenes with her and Vigilante. and see where that goes, because I want to see the ending of that. Like, I want to see a continuation of their relationship, because I kind of dig it.
All right.
They're in love, and they were partners in more than one way. So.
I'm gonna throw out a prediction that's probably way wrong, but just for fun, I'm gonna put it out there. So we know that next episode, Oliver gets arrested, and Slumanda, whatever her name is, is so excited. But here's my thing about her. And we talked about this before. There's something behind whatever it is that's driving her to make sure that she nails Oliver Queen. It's not just because it's her job. She has so much bitterness towards him.
So much.
Even from the beginning when he just tried to talk to her, she was outright just a witch to him. So I feel like something is gonna surface with that, but at the same time, because Diggle is the Arrow, Oliver can't be in two places at once. And I know she already thought that Diggle was taking his place, but I'd like something to just blow up into her face so she's like, boom, you're wrong. Or the fact that all of these villains, as shown in the preview, find out that Oliver is arrested, the ones that know Oliver is Arrow, so they're all coming back. I'd love for her to come crawling back to Oliver to ask for help, because the police force can't handle it on their own.
That would be good.
That was a long prediction.
Or it's Diggle's daughter from another universe who's time travel, now an adult, and she's pissed at Oliver because she wants to be with her dad. That's not going to happen.
I still think
that would be amazing.
They slept together in college. He doesn't remember because he was drunk, but secretly she was in love with him.
Who wouldn't be in love with
so
Diggle?
now she's bitter.
Typical Oliver Queen.
I have another prediction. That was my prediction. Go ahead.
Her father is some type of good guy, villain guy, and Oliver took him down, and she's coming back for vengeance.
Or she's just a hard-ass woman ready for justice.
But don't you feel like she just knows too much?
She knows too much,
that it's like you have history, because you have too much information.
She's the only smart one.
She reminds me actually of, I actually was pretty pissed off that they killed Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
I missed it, but I also didn't like that they didn't present. They CW'd Amanda Waller and made her this like skinny little model, and that's not Amanda Waller. It's Viola Davis. Like, that's my Amanda Waller, or a type of person. But I feel like now they're like, oh, let's bring back somebody like that.
Yeah. Right.
But
she's just annoying though. Like,
very much so.
But my prediction is, I think Oliver's going to resume, now that I think about it, because they're the only CW show that's having an episode next week on Thanksgiving. The episode's called Thanksgiving. Right. Thanksgiving's about going home. I think Oliver's going to assume the mantle of Arrow by the end of next week.
The crossover. I think it's going to be the crossover.
It said it looks like. We'll have to find out. Guys, we're running out of time, so of course I want you to see all our pretty faces as we bid you adieu, wish you a happy We're going to wish you a happy Tofurkey Day.
A happy Tofurkey Day.
For all of you who are veggie people like me, happy Tofurkey Day. Thank you guys so much for joining. And for those of you in the chat, thank you. We appreciate you. If you couldn't make it, no big. You're watching it later. Go on to iTunes, like, comment, subscribe. I don't think you can do that iTunes, but you can leave comments and stars. Yeah. While you're on YouTube, you can like, comment, subscribe, and just tell your thoughts. But I'm going to stop talking now and just say, find me at yours truly, Alikona. Take it away, please.
Find me at Olivia deBortoli everywhere.
Find me at the Matt Marr, 2 T's, 2 R's.
And you can find me all over social media at Linda is so girly.
Alrighty, guys. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Goodbye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bye. See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.